Okay, this is Chapter 8, Lesson 3, over functions and equations. So what we're going to do today is we're going to write an equation to represent a function. So the input, or the independent variable, represents the x value, and the output, or dependent variable, represents the y value. Independent variable and dependent variable are vocabulary words. An equation expresses the dependent variable in terms of the independent variable. So let's take a look over here. We're just going to go right over here. The stuff on the left, that can be so if you can't read your handwriting later. We're going to write an equation to represent the function shown in the table. So you're always going to start with y equals, and then we're going to figure out how to get from the top to the bottom. So how do I get from 1 to 4, 2 to 8, 3 to 12, 4 to 16? I'm going to be multiplying by 4, so that means I'm going to write 4x. Because any number that's in this x column right here, I'm going to be able to plug in for x, and I'm going to get the answer to y. So if I choose to plug in 2, 2 times 4 is 8, and that's why we get 8 in the y category. So that's all you have to do. Let's look right here. We're going to start with y equals, how do I get from 1 to 16, 2 to 32, 3 to 48, 4 to 64, 5 to 80. I'm going to multiply by 16. So I'm going to do 16x because that means multiplication. Now if I was adding, I would put an addition sign between the number and the letter. Okay, down here on the bottom, we're going to graph linear equations. So the input comes first and then the output. So we have x and then y because the input is x, the output is y. Let us go straight into the problems. So all we're going to do here is they gave me the equation and now I have to put it on the line. So to do this, I'm going to start down here with the 1. And this is on the x line, so I'm going to plug that 1 in for x up here. So I have 1 plus 1 equals 2. So at the 1, I'm going to put my dot at the 2. Then I'm going to come next and I have a 2 down here. So I'm going to do 2 plus 1 equals 3. So at the 2, I'm going to plug in for 3. Then I'm going to plug the 3 in. 3 plus 1 equals 4. So at the 3, I'm going to mark a 4. And then at 4, I have 4 plus 1 equals 5. So at the 4, I'm going to mark a 5. I am not going to worry about the 5 because it's going to go up and I don't have it. And then you're just going to draw your line on here. Your line will be going up by the same each time because it is linear and it has a rule to it. Let's look at this next one. Okay, again, we're going to start with this first one. So we're going to plug in a 1. So I have 3 times 1 plus 2. So 3 times 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. So at 1, I'm going to mark a 5. Because we can't go any farther on this graph, I'm going to put in the 0 too. So 3 times 0 plus 2. 0 plus 2 is 2. So right here, I'm going to start right there, and I'm going to go up from there. Try to draw the line as best as you can. Okay, I want you to get it out. Math page 599. You can either leave it in your book or rip it out. It doesn't matter. It will look like this. So page 599. The first two, they give you tables and they want you to write an equation. So remember, you're going to start with y equals, and then you're going to tell me how I'm going to get from the top to the bottom. And if you notice, we're going to be multiplying by 6, so y equals 6x. Over here, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to write an equation. And you're going to notice, to get from the top to the bottom, we're going to be multiplying by 15, so 15x. On these ones, we're going to take these bottom numbers and plug them in. So 0 plus 4 is 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. 2 plus 4 is 6. 3 plus 4 is 7. And 4 plus 4 is 8. Then you're just going to draw your line as straight as possible and put a little arrow on it. Next one's a little trickier because we throw a decimal in there. We're going to start with our 0. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 0.5 is 0.5. 0.5 is halfway between. Now we're going to plug a 1 in. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 plus 0.5 is 2.5. Let me zoom that in so you can see the dots a little better. Then we have a 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 0.5 is 4.5. We're going to plug our 3 in. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 0.5 is 6.5. And then we're going to plug our 4 in. So 2 times 4 is 8. Plus 0.5 is 8.5. That's as tall as we can go on this graph. So connect your line and your arrow. And that's it. This next one we're going to be multiplying by 0.5. So 0.5 times 0 is 0. Plus 1 is 1. 0.5 times 1 is 0.5. Plus 1 is 1.5. 2 times 0.5 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 3 times 0.5 is 1.5. Plus 1 is 2.5. And if you see, we go up by 0.5 each time. So you can just start filling your dots in, going up 0.5 each time. Then you just connect your lines, and you're done. Let's look down here at number 6. The graph shows the charges for a health club in a month. Make a function table for the input-output values and then write an equation. So at 0, we're at 30. At 1, we're at 38. At 2, we're at 46. And at 3, we're at 54. Now when you did yours, if you didn't get that close to it, just change them so you can make the rule easier. So we have y equals, as we see, we can't get there from there to there in one step. So if we go this way, we are adding 8. So 8x. So 1 times 8 is 8, and then plus 30 will give us to 38. And that is a hard question, so just do your best. And number 7, we're going to start at 1. We're at 5. At 2, we're at 10. At 3, we're at 15. And at 4, we are at 20. So now we're going to write our equation. So y equals 5x, because to get from the top to the bottom number, we're going to multiply by 5. Okay, so that's what we're doing in this lesson today. If you need more practice, you can turn on to page 600 and try those problems out on that side.